Good afternoon everybody, welcome to our live video once again. We're going to talk about breathing today. So as you've seen it on our Facebook page and our blog, we talk about a new blog topic on breathing. Previously we talked about breathing as in our everyday activities, making sure we use the maximum of our lung capacity, breathing from diaphragm as opposed to apical breathing right up from here, which is very inefficient for everyday activities. Now, going on to the next stage, we talk about breathing in a performance or rehabilitation setting, and we talk about two different breathing strategies, namely high threshold strategy and low threshold strategy. So low threshold breathing strategies are more for stability work and more for control work, whereas high threshold strategies are more for strength training, bracing, and so on. Alright, so when we talk about in a rehab setting, what we do with a lot of clients, things like rolling, where we go from our back to our belly, or belly to back. It should be a nice relaxed manner, smooth going, rather than that's just very inefficient. It's what we call high threshold strategies, especially in a rehab setting. We want to try and train the stabilizers rather than using our prime movers to try and force that movement through. Even activities like the bird dog should be nice and stable. You can breathe through it, hold a conversation, talk through it, rather than having to brace. A common exercise and position that we do in rehab is this half kneeling type position. When we work on our edge of our ability to see how much we can push ourselves and challenge ourselves for our stabilization and our stabilizers to work in rehabilitation, this should be a nice relaxed position. We should be able to be stacked right through our spine, our hips and our knees, rather than having to hold our breath and brace in that position. We should be able to hold a conversation, look around, keep our shoulders nice and relaxed, all the while breathing right through, making use of our lung capacity. Going on, when we get people testing for their balance in a single leg stance, that's what we call a low threshold strategy as well. There shouldn't be a need to hold your breath when we're in a single leg stance. Imagine if we're holding our breath in that single leg stance, what happens down the track, or if we extrapolate it, what happens when we're walking? With each step we take, are we holding our breath? That's not going to be very efficient when we're walking and just doing everyday tasks like that. Now, high threshold strategies are good in the sense of strength training. If we were to do a deadlift, for example, we brace, high threshold, and back down again, and so on and so forth. So that's how we sort of broadly split these two strategies, high threshold, low threshold strategies in terms of our rehab, and what our goals are in terms of our rehab as well. So the body's in constant high threshold state. The body constantly recruits high threshold motor units. It's not very efficient at all. Can potentially lead to the body stays in a constant heightened state, which is not very efficient for body's activities and motion and movement. It could potentially lead to injury, or if you're currently holding an injury, it might make the injury worse. Alright, so feel free to check out our blog. I'll post the link to our blog for the most recent article and also our previous article just below in the comments as well. Once again, feel free to drop any comments in our comments section if you have any questions about breathing. If not, we'll see you for the next video. Thanks very much.